Coach Crypto. Hope you're all doing well. I am here today with Alan. Now, Alan's a client of ours. He's been with us since February. He's also an investor and is now actually a partner with We Coach Crypto. And he's come on the live stream today just basically to try and get some more information, frequently asked questions that people have about cryptocurrency that don't really understand it or get it. So, Alan, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Funsho, and thanks for having me on the stream again.
You're welcome.
And for the intro, likewise. So I'm just going to jump straight into this. And obviously what we're talking about today is we're talking about questions that a lot of people might have about crypto that don't know that much about it. So the first thing would be, and imagine that I don't know very much at all about it, which is partly true, but imagine that I know nothing. Imagine that I'm 10, and you're trying to explain to me what is crypto, because so many people are like, I've heard of it. Oh, like I've heard people are making gains in it. I've heard people are worried about it because maybe they could get hacked or whatever. But like, what is cryptocurrency? Like, what does it do?
Okay. Right. So cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency. Okay. And it's been created using cryptography. And the main purpose of it is to allow people to transact on a peer-to-peer basis. So one of the big things I think that people need to understand about cryptocurrency is the fact that it doesn't have a central point of authority. Okay, so in its essence, the bank has been removed from the entire situation. So the way that a traditional currency works is I go and put money into a bank account. And then if I want to send my money to you, Alan, I would instruct the bank to do that transaction for me. And the bank would take care of moving it from my account to your account. If we had the same bank, or even if you had a different bank. So it'd go from me, my bank, to another bank, to you. Now, imagine the banks have been removed entirely. That's what cryptocurrencies have allowed people to do. So it's peer-to-peer. So I can literally be my own bank. I'm in complete control. I use something called private keys, and it allows me to send cryptocurrency, which has a value, and I can send that directly to you without the bank being there whatsoever. And I think what's important to highlight is the sovereignty that's behind that as well. The whole financial system has been the same for so many years. And this has completely revolutionized the way that people are transacting in a number of different ways, because it's allowing people to transact peer-to-peer, number one. But then there's a lot of other things that come into play with it too. It's allowing us to transact faster. And that's really important, because if you start thinking about cross-border transactions where I'm doing a transaction overseas, it takes days to complete transactions like that. And there are obviously quite hefty fees involved as well. So as an individual, if I wanted to send money overseas to family, for example, it solved a problem by making it lightning fast. I'm talking about you can do transactions in minutes, but then also reducing the transaction fees right down to next to nothing. And that is very attractive to individuals, but imagine how attractive it is to businesses, okay? Massive corporate companies that are transacting all over the world, that are spending millions, perhaps billions, some of them. If they were able to do that using cryptocurrency, which a lot of them are starting to do now, it's just reduced times for them. The security in it is fantastic as well. If you think about the security with the banks, I mean, banks get hacked and you get all sorts of fraudulent activity that takes place in the current fiat system and world, which we're talking about the pound, the dollar, the euro, yuan, all these things happen. But cryptography has made it extremely difficult for people to counterfeit anything and also to double spend using cryptocurrency. And I think, although it might come across that I'm rambling on a bit here, but I just want people to really understand the empowerment that people are getting from cryptocurrency. You know, it's like you don't actually need the banks anymore. And yes, people are making money with it. And I also just want to highlight as well that, you know, it's not tangible. So you can't hold cryptocurrency. Okay. You know, like our current fiat system, you've got pound coins, you've got £20 notes, you can touch them, you can feel them, it's in your hand, you know, it's real. With cryptocurrency, it's entirely digital, so it's intangible. You can't actually hold it. Okay.
So,
but you can transact with it.
right. Okay. So so far I'm getting it right. So I can't touch it in my hand. It basically lives on some computers that are somewhere. I hold the keys to it, so I'm in control of it. I don't need the bank. I can send it about really fast. No keys, like all that. So if I can't kind of see it or touch it, it lives on a computer and you can send it around. You own these private keys, but like, how do you actually get it? Like, how do you actually get crypto? How do you? Because you can't get it if you say there's no bank. Like, how would I actually go and start? Like, how would I go and buy some cryptos?
Okay, so just like Forex, for example, you've got exchanges that allow you to go on and purchase different cryptocurrencies. So the most popular cryptocurrency that everybody knows is Bitcoin. Most people have heard of that. And a lot of the major exchanges that are out there will always allow you to purchase Bitcoin. But there are about 11,200 other cryptocurrencies that exist. And they all have their own individual service that they offer. They solve certain problems. So some of the cryptocurrencies that you can purchase have really cool things like smart contracts, and you can build upon them. You can put decentralized applications on there. And that, I think that word as well is really important to highlight, decentralized. So centralized, when I was talking about that central point of authority, that's a bank. So that's centralized. Decentralized is when you've removed that bank away from the situation. So it's fully decentralized. And I think as well, it's important to highlight something that you mentioned earlier about the computers. So there is something called blockchain technology that has made this possible. Okay. And what a blockchain is kind of how it sounds. It's a block that is chained and connected to other blocks. And inside of these blocks, you have a ledger, a list of different transactions that are taking place. So when I transact with you, Alan, if I was to send you some Bitcoin, okay, that transaction has to be confirmed on the blockchain. And it's not confirmed by one person or one central point of authority. It's confirmed by a number of different individuals that use computers that solve these mathematical equations with the cryptography. And I know this sounds extremely confusing, and it's the further you go down the rabbit hole, you start understanding that, you know, there's so much when it comes to this. But there's a group of computers that are networked together, and the miners, they use something called proof of work or proof of stake. And what will happen is this completely at random. So I could be solving one of these equations if I'm mining cryptocurrency. So if I'm mining Bitcoin and I solve one of these equations, I get rewarded a tiny percentage of what that transaction would have cost in order for it to be confirmed on the blockchain. But it's not just me, there'll be multiple people. And the reason that there'll be multiple people is so that you haven't got a central point of authority. You haven't got one person that makes the decisions. So a group of people will confirm. Let's say, for example, you need 14 network confirmations. So I'd be number one. There could be someone in South Korea that's number two, someone in Sweden that's number three. None of us know each other. None of us know who the people are that are conducting the transaction because it's anonymous. All they know is a wallet address, and let's say in this case, it's my wallet, has sent a transaction to your wallet. So all they know is this wallet address has sent this much Bitcoin to this wallet address, and they confirm that that transaction was real. So when you get 14 network confirmations, all these different people confirming it on their computers, then it becomes irrefutable and irreversible, and that transaction gets logged on the blockchain. The moment that happens, you then will receive and be able to transact with the Bitcoin that I've sent to you. And it's mind-blowing, the technology that's involved in it. But what it's doing is it's changing our world for the better moving forward in so many ways. So what you get is a lot of corruption in certain things like voting. And you've also got to think about as well the fact that people that are using blockchain technology now, it's completely open to the public. Anyone can go on and look and confirm that certain transactions have taken place. And if you then were to add documents to these transactions, which are called smart contracts, you're now in a position where you're able to buy real estate overseas, sign all the paperwork, do a transaction in Ethereum or Bitcoin or many other cryptocurrencies, add those documents to it. That becomes a smart contract that goes onto the blockchain. It's completely irreversible. Everything's confirmed. And then you've just bought real estate using cryptocurrency. There's so many different things that are going on with this. It's just amazing, to be honest.
That's brilliant. You actually answered quite a lot on that. You actually answered my next question that I was going to ask as well. And that was really like about the cold security and the tracking of it, because I know that, like, one of the big things, you take the bank out of the way, then there's a tendency to think, well, we trust the banks, like we've had our money in the banks for years, and then all of a sudden you take that away, and how do we then trust it? But actually, and from my own experience, if I take my new hat off now, but when you actually transfer Bitcoin or another crypto or whatever from one place to another, the first time you do it, it feels like you're throwing some money away into the internet and you don't know what's going on. You can actually see it moving from one location to another, being validated, and you can see the progress in real time, and it moves. It's moving across the world from place to place in real time. You can track it every stage of the process. So on one hand, yes, obviously, and what you're saying as well, like, it can be daunting if you take that intermediary out of there, the bank and things. Obviously, you can purchase these on reputable exchanges now, and then you can transfer it about and you can track it and trace it. Also, it is in fact probably more secure in many ways, as long as you know what you're doing with it, and you don't fall foul of these different scams that offer to triple your money if you send them all your Bitcoin in one day. So talking about tripling your money, we'll come on to this part. I mean, it's interesting that we've talked some educational content here about, like, what is crypto, some of the concerns and things, but the reality is the number one reason that people get interested in crypto right now is because they've heard about people making, like, huge gains. People are interested in seeing, like, this is an investment opportunity. And so there's a lot of people are looking at about, and things have caught the news. So, for example, Doge has went up like 200,000% or something like that in the past 12 months. And they're thinking, maybe I should get into some of that. They really want a Lambo. But seriously though, what are the main things that you should be starting to think about? If you've looked at crypto and thought, that sounds really cool, I want to get into that, like, what are the things I should be weighing up before I, like, make the leap to do that?
Okay. I think education is key, absolutely key in any form of investment. It doesn't matter whether it's something new like cryptocurrency or not. You've got to actually understand what you're doing. And there are so many people that are out there that will claim to be completely knowledgeable in this space, but they've been here for 5 minutes. I've been an investor in this space for over 5.5 years, Alan, and I've learned a great deal along the way. I've made mistakes, and I've had to learn the hard way, because 5.5 years ago, there was no experts to go and talk to, So you had to literally figure this out. It was like walking around blind, trying to figure all of this out. It was insane. And where we're at today, we have now got a good understanding of how this market works and what a good project looks like that's actually worth investing into. And research and analysis is key. I think that, to put it in perspective, just to give you an idea from my side, and I know Alan, but I will go off and I will look at a project. I'll look at their website. I will go and talk to their community. I'll find out who the people are that are working there, who's their team. And are these people bona fide? Let me go and check them out on LinkedIn and do a little bit of digging. Then what's the problem this project is actually solving? Is it solving a real world problem? What competitors do they have in the space? What are the tokenomics looking like? So what's the total circulating supply? You know, how many tokens do they have? Are they burning any? Are they doing any airdrops? There's so many things that you need to look at before you actually decide, okay, yeah, I'm going to throw some money behind this. I mean, that's how I do it. Okay. But what I'm finding is I'm talking to some people and saying to them, oh, are you in crypto? And they're like, oh yeah, I bought some Safe Moon, some Dogecoin, some of this, some of that. And I say, okay, well, what do they do? Nobody knows. Nobody's got a clue. They don't understand what these projects are actually doing. And that's dangerous, in my opinion. You know, you have to know what you're buying into. Okay. It's like if you go and buy a car, I get it. You don't understand the inner workings of that vehicle. Okay. You know, it's got an engine in it. You know, it's got an exhaust. You know, it's got seats, but you don't actually understand how that vehicle works unless you're a mechanic. Now, the mechanic understands it on a granular level. And that's how I feel I'm positioned in the crypto space, because I've been in it for a long time. So I understand what to look for. I understand what's happening in the marketplace. I understand what's coming next, where this is likely to go to in the future. From an investment standpoint, there's a huge amount of money that you can make in this space if you understand what you're doing. But if you are completely new to this and oblivious to actually what's going on and start throwing money into it, you might as well go to the casino. You know, you've got to be smart if you're going to invest, and you need a strategy. Okay. And what a lot of people find too is they'll jump in, they'll start making money, and the market will go right up. Everyone's, you know, hitting all-time highs with new projects. Everyone's making money. Everyone's dancing and singing around. And then the market will top out and it will retract. And they just see their investment come tumbling back down again because they've got no exit strategy. They're not thinking about when they should be pulling profits. They're not thinking about when they should be scaling in and taking advantage of retractions and new projects that are coming along. So, you know, it's really important to have that education. But yes, you can make a fortune in this marketplace. I mean, just to name you a few, you named one earlier, Dogecoin. I mean, I've not been the biggest fan of Dogecoin myself, but I bought some and I've made really good money off of it. But would I hold it for a 5-year period? No, I wouldn't. Just because I think there's other projects out there with better utility. And that's not me slating Dogecoin. It's me understanding the market and knowing what major investors that have got huge amounts of money are likely to invest in versus some of these sort of overnight celebrity coins and some of these meme coins and your Safe Moons, etc. So I want to be looking at growth sectors. I want to be looking at cloud storage. I want to be looking at NFTs and gaming and, you know, DeFi, and also looking at Oracle providers and what blockchain is the fastest, who provides the cheapest fees, who can facilitate millions of transactions per second, because banks will find that attractive. These are the kind of things that you need to be looking at.
Okay. So I think education being absolutely critical there, and it's the tendency that, you know, a lot of people make new to the market just want to jump into anything that sounds like it's going to be good, right? Because and to be fair, as you say, when the market's going up, almost anything can do well. It's when it starts to top out, when it starts to go down, it starts to go flat, and then if you're in it for the long term, which obviously with any type of investment, you know, most people should be in it for the long term, because if something's volatile, it's, you know, it's hard to make a return. And that's when you see like the real value in what you're saying, like, you know, really understanding what it is. Is it sound? Is it going to be around in a few years? Yeah. And so is your money that you put into that going to be secure in some ways? Because again, I know that's another one of the concerns people have when they're getting into this for the first time. Well, that's been really useful, Funsho. You have, as always, really effectively answered all of my questions, and we're bang on time. I don't know if you want to kind of say anything else to wrap up, or, you know, let people know if they want to get in contact with you, how they should go about that.
Yeah, I mean, first things first, obviously, you know, it's really important for me to share something that is close to my heart and for us as a brand and a business as well. And that is education is key. You know, I want to make sure that people are safe when they come into this marketplace and they understand what they're actually doing, because it is extremely volatile and you do need to be careful. There are a lot of people out there that are not trying to help grow this community and grow this space. They're out there for themselves. So I want to make sure people are safe and sound when they're in this marketplace. And one of the things that we offer for people is completely free. Okay. Number one, you can join our Facebook cryptocurrency mastermind group. Okay. The link is in the description underneath. The other thing you can do is you can visit our website, which is wecoachcrypto.com. Also, the link's underneath. And on there, you'll be able to download our free cryptocurrency investment guide to investing in crypto. Okay, it's a 35 page guide packed with information that will be really useful for you guys so that you can navigate the space a lot more effectively. But on top of that, obviously, we offer services where you guys can work with us, we can build your portfolios, we can be there to support and guide you. We offer coaching calls. And we also do cryptocurrency trading as well. So we have a course that we provide for that, where people can learn how to become pro traders. And you guys can also copy the trades that we're carrying out. So there are crypto trade alerts that you can follow, really simple to follow. Again, all the information's underneath the video. Really appreciate you coming on today, Alan. Anyone needs anything at all, don't hesitate to ask. We love questions. Put them in the comments. We'll always come back to you. And if you took anything from this video, please like it, share it. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you get notified for future videos. Hope you all have a fantastic day. And thanks again, Alan.
Thanks a lot, Funsho.
Cheers. Take care, guys.